going on, everybody? Alex Fishbein back again with another Fish's Friday rant. And this is coming like a few hours after the Atlantic Files because, schoolwork, all that kind of stuff. But we have a lot to talk about today because this man right here was fired. David Blatt fired from Cleveland, probably due to LeBron James. Now, I know there's been a lot of tweets that come out and said LeBron was not, they did not ask him for his opinion in this decision. He was informed of the decision after the whole thing happened. I understand that. Do I really deep down believe that? Not really. But that's what was reported. This whole thing is a surprise, to be honest. Like, I knew Blatt and LeBron were just not working. I knew they were not meshing and they weren't on the same channel all the time. I understand that, LeBron, all those rumors came out before that he was saying, look, I don't like Blatt, we should get a new coach, blah, blah, blah. And he's always liked Ty Lue on the bench, the assistant coach. He's always liked him as a coach. We know that LeBron has really been lobbying for him too. So it's really hard for me to believe they didn't at least talk to LeBron before they started thinking about all this. It's hard for me to believe they didn't take LeBron's opinion into the factor of this whole decision. And it's just I understand they didn't win the championship. It was one season. It was their first season. When LeBron went to Miami, they didn't win the championship their first season either. They had Spoelstra there. Spoelstra helped them go through the 4 seasons and still get 2 championships. Now, I know Spoelstra, he didn't do all that much because they did have LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. But if you look at what Spoelstra's doing with the Heat now, when they are without LeBron, you can see that he's a decent coach. Now, the big thing that kind of annoys me is that Blatt was hired before LeBron decided to come back to Cleveland. He decides to come back and, immediately, Blatt's on the hot seat. He did not even he didn't even coach one game. He was barely even there for, a week or so. And he was already on the hot seat just because LeBron's coming back. Because everyone knew that if you can't get LeBron a championship, LeBron's not going to like you, and LeBron will probably get you out the door. That is ridiculous. Now, this whole, I can't fault Blatt at all for this kind of thing that happened. I can't fault Blatt for not having Kyrie Irving, not having Kevin Love, and still trying to put together different lineups to take on the Golden State Warriors, who are now fighting to have the best record in NBA history. You can't fault him for that. And the Cleveland is still number 1 in the East. They only have 11 losses. They're coming off a blowout win over the Nets. The only bad, really, really bad loss they've had was against Golden State. But, like I've said, Golden State is fighting to have maybe one of the best records in NBA history. So I'm not going to fault David Blatt for that. David Blatt will get another coaching job, whether it be in the NBA, whether it be overseas, whatever, he's going to get another coaching job. The man has quite the record as a coach. And I was talking about this a little bit with some of the Basketball Society guys, and Martin Soares brought up a good point when he said that he could see Blatt going to Brooklyn. I as soon as he said that, I could see it too, because Blatt coached the Russian team, their national team, and you have Mikhail Prokhorov there from Russia, so that could very well be a match made in heaven. But let's go back to Cleveland. So now Lou is taking over the head coach job. What happens if, while Lou is the head coach, they don't win the championship? Does LeBron try and lobby to have Lou fired? Or does the GM automatically assume Lou's not good enough and they hire a new coach? What's their decision time? How long are they going to take to decide if they want to fire him or not? Because Blatt only lasted a season and a half. So would they fire him if they don't get? Would they fire Lou if they don't get to the championship at the end of this season, or not to get to the championship, but if they don't win the championship? It opens up a whole can of worms now, because it's like, okay, what kind of job security at all does your coach have then? If you're going to fire a guy who got you to the finals, who has gotten you 2 winning records so far, and has gotten you to the top of the Eastern Conference this season. If you're going to fire him halfway through, what kind of job security do your coaches have? Now, I know Lou probably isn't like worrying all much about it, just because, 1, he's backed by LeBron. 2, I mean, he was an assistant coach, so he was in the system already. Like, I can understand why Lou might not be worrying about it right now. But say they do fire Lou, the next coach coming in, how are they going to know if they're going to be there for more than a season or a season and a half? They don't know. That's the thing. That's the problem here. So that's creating a really volatile situation at the head coaching job. And you always have to ask the question, is this why they can't win a championship? Because they don't have continuity as a team? There's always a revolving door of different role players. There's all this talk about Kevin Love, who maybe they don't like him being one of the big 3. Maybe they want to get someone else. And meanwhile, you look at other championship teams, like the Spurs. Popovich has been there for a long time. Duncan, Ginobili, Parker, been there for a long time. They add 2-3 people each season, and that's about it, but their main group stays intact. And they've had continued success over a long period of time. Whereas you have LeBron, who gets to the championship with Cleveland his first time in 2007, and he went through a few coaches in that time in Cleveland, then goes to Miami, loses his first one, they win 2, but they lose the 4th one, goes back to Cleveland, pretty much has a whole new team again, new coach. They went to the championship, they lose, they fire the coach now, and now they have a new coach again. So is Lou going to coach the same system? Is he going to change it up and do his own thing? Or or are the rumors and everything true that pretty much this is LeBron's team and he's practically going to coach it? There's so many questions that come out of this Blatt firing. And honestly, nobody really has all of the answers. We have a lot of oh, well, I did hear this could be true, or this could be true, but I also heard rumors about this. It's a lot of rumors. There's not a lot of facts behind it. So this is going to be interesting to see how the Cavs go on this season without Blatt and with Lou at head coach. It's going to be interesting. Okay, so one other thing I wanted to talk about. We're still doing this whole thing where I kind of scroll through news sites and check out what I want to rant about again. But I did see one. It was, it's the All-Stars. I just wanted to say it is kind of terrible, the fact that Draymond didn't get voted in, nor did Andre Drummond. That's kind of ridiculous. Those two guys absolutely deserve it. They probably will get in as a reserve. But, I still think that the voting should have 2 guards, 2 forwards, and a center. I know all of this stuff about small ball and all that stuff and how, people don't really appreciate centers anymore. Like when there's only like a small percentage of people who really appreciate post game anymore. There really is. Like there are so many people who want to see like the guards, like the rookie guards or guards coming in, the guys who do like flashy plays, the big dunks, they shoot threes, all that kind of stuff, but rarely appreciate the guy who can do work on the block and has tremendous footwork on the block. Guys like, you compare Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant. Well, Tim Duncan was overlooked a lot. I mean, everyone knew he was a great player. Everyone knew he's one of the top power forwards. We all knew that, but you didn't really hear guys like, yo, did you see that play from Tim Duncan? No, it was more like, did you see Kobe dunk on that guy? And a lot of people get more caught up in that kind of thing. And I understand that. Like the dunks, all that kind of stuff, they're cool to see. But you have to appreciate stuff like a big man, like Jahlil Okafor is coming up, who can dominate on the post. I mean, this guy's dominating veteran bigs as well as rookie bigs. And then you have guys like Tim Duncan who can dominate you on the post and still plays good down low defense and everything. But he gets guys and he shakes them off and he gets the bank shot to go in. A lot of people are like, oh, he banked it. Bank shots are a lot harder than people think. The way that Duncan and the way that Aldridge with their post fadeaways, their post hook shots, even Dirk Nowitzki with his post fadeaways, those are tough shots. Not everybody is good at those. And I just think it's kind of dumb how the center and everything, people, they're like dying out. Because for a big man to have those kind of skills, like, all right, I'm just going to say Okafor just because I've watched him the most. You don't see a big man come around with that kind of footwork, that kind of post moves, those kind of just that sheer talent on the post. You don't see big men come around with that kind of stuff all the time. That's not something that every big man has. There are plenty of big men who are quite bad on the post. Just as an example off the top of my head, DeAndre Jordan. He's more of a guy that catches lobs. He'll catch one on the post, turn and dunk, and clean up a board and put it right back in. He's not a guy that you can give it to on the post and let him go to work. But those kind of guys are exciting to watch. But I don't want to sit here and say, oh, the newer generation, this, that, and the fourth. It's just like, there should be more of an appreciation. I understand right now with Golden State's small ball and everything, you have to match up with that and everything. I understand all of that. But the fact that, as a fan base, we can't vote in the guys who really, truly deserve it. I understand Kobe getting it's last season, that's a good send-off for Kobe. But Andre Drummond deserved it over Melo. I'll say it. Plain and simple. Draymond Green definitely should have got in. No, I mean, Kawhi Leonard and them should have too, but I'm just saying, Draymond Green definitely deserved a spot. So, I mean, it's just, I personally, I think the big man spot, even power forwards, they should just get a lot more respect and a lot more recognition than they're getting. And it might happen, it might not, but you just have to wait and see for that. Anyway, that's all it is for me. That's all I have for this week. I will definitely see you guys again next week. It won't be this late. It was just extenuating circumstances why this one was late. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure you check out our website, www.basketball-society.com, and check us out on Twitter at @bballsociety_. Thank you guys for watching again, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.